CO2.
I have, beyond that, I hired a part-time guy, I guess after that 8-month period. I now have a full-time sales guy. I have one full-time production guy, and then the part-timer I hired at the beginning and another part-timer. So the one part-timer is a fireman, so some days I have him, or some weeks I have him 4 days a week, other weeks it's just 3 days.
How did you mentally get through that 8 months? I mean, that 8 months must have been, that really ties back to this whole connection.
Sure, let me add on to that to make it even more mentally difficult. I also, in that 8-month period, I also bought a house and got married. And I'm still alive with a smile on my face to talk about it, so it can be done. You know, there was a lot of 18, 20-hour work days. And I think I definitely knew what I was getting myself into because of the position that I put myself in before, in the sense of when I was working at the brewery at Victory up in Pennsylvania. You know, my thing, I knew nobody up there when I moved. My thing was, hey, I want to learn anything and everything that there is to do with brewing, with running a brewery. And, you know, I would work 16, 17, 18-hour days just so I could learn as much as I can. And I think that really benefited, obviously. I had the mental preparedness that, hey, this is not just going to be a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to really have to bust my ass to get through everything. Two, you know, when we started off, I figured you have that anticipation. Oh man, Tulsa, only brewery here in Tulsa? People are going to want our beer right off the bat. Well, that's not necessarily the case either. We had a couple places immediately that picked us up and said, hey, let's go for it. Let's give you a shot. McNelly's was one of them, and then there's a bar down by Cane's called Sound Pony. They were big supporters from the beginning. Go into other places. Hey, you know, what do you think? You're a local brewery. Yeah. What do you make it in the garage and a bunch of plastic buckets? No, really. Come down and see what we've got going on. Well, we'll see how it goes at the other places, and then maybe we'll give you a shot down the road. So you're gonna face a lot of that too. And my thing, my philosophy or my approach to sales and all of that is sort of the kill 'em with kindness approach. And this is going to be very blunt, and hopefully my language doesn't offend somebody, but there's no reason to be an asshole, because if you're an asshole to somebody, it's going to come back and bite you. And you know, and I think that's one of the biggest things in terms of sales that we can think of. You're going to have people that are going to say, yeah, I don't think so. This isn't going to work. Your product sucks. You're going to have those people tell you that. But 2.5 years later, when you're growing 45% and everybody loves what you're doing, they're going to be the first ones to come and say, oh yeah, I've loved your beer for a long time. You know, now we can work it in. And we've experienced that. But you know, you can't, would I love to just say, no, you gave me the cold shoulder at the beginning, you can't have my beer now. You can't really do that, because you never know. You can't burn bridges, you know. So again, that's kind of blunt, but don't be an asshole. I think that's probably one of the other things to add to the list of all of that.
In your annual budget, what would you, since we were talking about giving it away, what would you say, what percent do you budget for PR, giveaway, community service type things?
That's a very interesting question, because we're trying to figure that out right now ourselves. So because we've had to sort of adopt a policy on the fly in terms of donations and whatever. And honestly, it's going to be specific to your business. If I remember right, you're the lawn garden, yeah. Obviously, people are going to want to see. You're going to have to get your name out there in different ways, and so it's going to be quite a bit different for you. Your consumable rather than mine, because I guess it's not as widespread as, say, beer. You've got more bars and restaurants and liquor stores and all of that we can get the word out different ways. For you, it's going to be a little bit different. So I think it's going to be business specific. Maybe you all can touch on that later on, but
Do you think that you gave away more in the beginning than you are now?
definitely.
I mean, let's talk about, or share with us kind of that ramp up so that you're that grassroots is,
Definitely.
You're clearly not, I don't see you as in many functions now as I did
Right.
a couple years ago.
So that exactly the grassroots side of things, ramping up, getting the name out there, getting people aware of the product is obviously the important thing. We were giving away a lot more. Obviously, we had a lot more capacity at the beginning because we didn't have as much demand, or we had a lot more supply because we didn't have as much demand because we're just getting started off. So we were trying to figure out any and every way to get out there and get involved with different groups, different charities, different activities. Because, like I said, it's something that I'm a big believer in the social responsibility side of things and do what you can. And B, we want people to be aware that, hey, there's a brewery in Tulsa. The brewery I worked at in Pennsylvania was distributed in 25 states and had been in the brewery, or had been in that town for 10 years, and there was people that lived a block away that had never heard of it. And so, at the beginning, yeah, we were giving away a lot more. We were trying to get our product and our name in front of anybody and everybody possible, and do some good in that sense. And so, as time's gone along, it becomes the point where you hit a level where it's not necessarily awareness; it's keeping your name in front of people, and that's where I think it's going to change in the PR side of things, because when you get your product to a level where people are aware, people know, people need to be constantly reminded, hey, we're still here. Hey, remember our product, this and that. And so yeah, you're exactly right. We started off to where we were donating. I think I met you very early on at a green function or something like that. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. And so, we looked at the target market, the different groups, Sustainable Tulsa, people who are very into green and local and fresh and all of that stuff, which is exactly what we are. And so we figured, oh man, we need to get our name in front of these people. Okay, we're going to go to TU has a big scholarship dinner or a wine event every June called Uncorked, and they asked us to be a beer. Okay, well, there's a large group of people with big pockets that like to go out and spend money on, high quality, high end things. Okay, well, let's roll a couple kegs out there. And it's gotten to the point where now we're in the fortunate position that everything we make and put in kegs or bottles is going out the door. In fact, we've got orders going out Wednesday or Thursday. We don't have enough kegs to fill, so they're getting shorted some orders. So, it really, the dynamic does shift at some point, and it really is to be determined for your specific business, obviously, and what works best in that sense.
There was a strategicness, is what I heard.
Right.
It wasn't just randomly, whatever opportunity.
Exactly.
It had a connection.
Exactly. You'd be amazed too at how many people are like, "Oh, I'm opening a furniture store. You want to come give beer away?" I'm like, "No, we wouldn't do things like that because that's completely ridiculous. That's just somebody trying to benefit off of you for their own. I don't even want to say good." And we still get hit up with that stuff all the time. Hey, my law firm. This was my favorite, actually. Let me start, and you'll like this since you're a wedding event planner. Hey, I'm getting married. It would be a really, really good move for you to come sample your beer at my wedding. That was actually said to me. Yeah, I don't think so. So.
I've got a question. You're talking about beer going out the door, and earlier you're talking about using your network. And what I was wondering is, your brother being a lawyer, was he enough to help you navigate Oklahoma liquor law? Because we've run into a problem as far as the transportation of it. We're not the point of sale. If we're buying at a Quick Trip or Warehouse Market or whatever, we're not actually selling. We're simply transporting it. And we've even paid a lawyer to help us figure out, and all they can say is, I don't think you should do it, but I can't tell you why. So was
Or
your
it's
brother...
easier to ask for forgiveness
Yeah.
question is,
You learn that sometime.
that's their area of expertise?
You know, that's a good question. My brother has become very good with alcohol laws in Oklahoma, and
Well, it just says that you can only take it for gifting purposes or to a friend. That's the law. You're all friends. That's what I say. I'm like, anytime you're giving alcohol, it's a gift. And I've never met a stranger, so I say,
yeah, no, I mean, that's another one of those tough gray areas, and
Well, and Adam Marshall is a thought leader, and he is in your binder. So you need to contact him sooner than when we meet with him.
yeah, and I've
Say that might be
Reference this to this section.
reference that
Yeah.
you were with Eric tonight. And
Right.
say, hey, we could use a little.
I think I have a card of his over there. I'll give to you, or at least his Marshall Brewing card. I don't know.
what's your next business goal in relation to, or have you met all your business goals, or is there another one that?
We have not. You know, we're at the point where our original business plan was sort of a kind of a 5-year approach, and we're kind of right in the middle of that. We're relatively in line with it. We took a pretty conservative approach, a conservative estimate, and my thing from the beginning has been sort of a slow, controlled growth instead of, hey, let's go out and either get more investors or borrow a ton of money and triple the business overnight, because you get yourself in a lot of trouble. So what my vision, or what my model, I guess, is, you know, we want to grow. Obviously, we're only in Oklahoma at the moment. We're actually applying for the liquor board in Kansas, so we can start selling beer up in Kansas, and then hopefully we'll start selling beer in Missouri before the end of the year as well. So the idea is, let's keep growing at a natural pace to where we don't have to sacrifice quality. You know, we're not going crazy. We're not getting ourselves in a lot of debt to do so. And obviously we've got a goal in that 5-year plan that we want to hit, you know, X amount of production numbers per year, and then when it comes time, we can reevaluate and assess, okay, do we want to keep going, or are we happy being right here, you know, turning a profit, making our investors happy, making awesome beer, you know, doing fun things, that. And so, you know, our idea is, okay, we want to get to the point where we are a good, small, regional brewery. I don't ever want to be the size of Sam Adams or even Boulevard, for that matter. We want to remain relatively small. Obviously, we want to get to a point where, you know, financially everything is working out and doing what we need it to do. But, you know, my ultimate goal is, if we're distributed in a few states in the surrounding area, people are drinking our beer, loving it. It's allowing us the flexibility to do other things. I'm taking care of my employees. They're still happy to come into work every day. And we get to use the brewery as a vehicle to do other good things in the community. Then, you know, that's my ultimate goal for the brewery. Now, we've hit the point where we really are sort of following our step. We set ourselves